Hey kiddos, glad you are here for a reading lesson today. For today's lesson, you need your reader-writer journal, however you have that set up, pen or pencil, and any book, fiction or nonfiction. Today we're going to look at the Lotus Seed, which we will read later in class. So let's get started. For today's lesson, we're going to talk about how the author gives a message in a book, and that's fiction or nonfiction. So let's take a look at a couple of different books. And we'll look at the messages in those books. So the first book we're going to look at today is Junkyard Wonders. So let's take a look at Junkyard Wonders and recall what that story is about. That story is about a girl who goes to a school and she ends up being put in a lower level class, and she makes lots of friends there, and she discovers that each person has their own special ability, and everybody is unique and special in their own way. One of the messages the author wants us to learn in this book is that it's okay to be different. So Patricia Polacco was telling about her childhood growing up and how she felt different from lots of people, and it's okay to be different from other people. Everyone has special talents. I know you have a special talent that nobody else can do, or that you can do better than everyone else. And all people are geniuses in their own ways. Each person is very, very good at something in their life. You might not know what it is yet, but they are very good at something. Let's take a look at this next story, The Boy and the Whale. Let's remember what this one was about. So this story was about a boy who went out fishing and with his dad, and they saw that a whale was caught in their net, and the dad said, nope, we can't save the whale, we'll have to come back later. And the boy says, nope, I'm gonna go save this whale because it's the right thing to do. And it was really, really hard, but he ended up freeing the whale. So what's the lesson in this story, or the message? Maybe he wants us to know that it's important to help animals that are in danger. Maybe you've found a bird at some point that's on the ground with a broken wing, or maybe you found a dog on the side of the road and you want to help it. That's what one of the messages from this book is. It's important to help animals that are in danger. You could also get from this book that sometimes what seems impossible is possible if you try. Imagine trying to free a giant whale from a net. And think back to the story and how long it took this boy to cut the whale out of the net. But it was possible because he kept trying. Or listen to your heart and do what you think is right. This kid's dad said, no way, we're not going to save that whale. I'm going to go do something else. And the boy said, you know what? My heart says the right thing to do is to try and save the whale. Those are messages from those fiction books. Let's look at these nonfiction books, Parrots Over Puerto Rico and One Hen. If you remember, Parrots Over Puerto Rico has a history of both the people and the parrots of Puerto Rico. And in this one, remember, I cut the words out so we could see the pictures a little bit better. This was the sideways book. So this talked about the history of the parrots and the history of the people in Puerto Rico. So one of the messages that the author was trying to portray to us was that some animals are endangered because of the actions of humans. Think about animals around the world today that may be in danger or have become extinct because of what people have done to the habitat. Humans can work together to save endangered animals. Sometimes we cause the problem and sometimes we can fix it. Let's take a look at the story of One Hen. The story of One Hen is about a boy who is able to borrow a little bit of money to buy one hen, sell the eggs. Then he had enough money to buy another hen and sell more eggs. And eventually he became a very successful farmer. One of the messages in this book could be that change happens one person at a time. So think about the paraphrased quote that you might hear from Gandhi all the time, which is, be the change you want to see in the world, which is not exactly the quote, but is a good summation of it. If you want to see something happen, start doing it. A little help can make a big difference. This kid started out with one chicken, and he ended up with a big farm. Do what you can to help others. That's kind of a thing that happens with most people, is most people want to help each other. All right, your turn. Let's take a look at the example here. So this book is the Lotus Seed. This is one we're going to read in class later today by Sherry Garland. Sorry about the reflection. So the Lotus Seed, you will learn, is about a girl who tells about her life growing up in Vietnam and about how it is struck by war and how she escapes. And then she comes back to the United States and she has family. And I'm not going to give away that story to you just yet. But let's take a look in our mini lesson notes section. So grab your reader writer notebook. And after you read your book, or maybe you could use a book that you've already read, turn to your mini lesson notes section. I've marked mine so that you don't have to watch me dig through it. And the message in this book of the Lotus Seed is that you can feel at home even in a strange land. If you have people to love and memories to treasure. Oops, and I forgot to write the title and the author. So I'll put that down underneath. The Lotus Seed. Make sure you're spelling this correctly since you're going to be copying directly from your book. So what I want you to do is find any book, fiction or nonfiction. It can be one you've already read or it can be a new one. If it's a new one, go ahead and count it as you're reading for 20 minutes for the day and then use this as your lesson. But I want you to find in your book, I want you to see if you can figure out the message in the book that the author is trying to portray to you. Do you have to get it exactly right? No, but maybe you see a different message than another person. Okay, kiddos, I'll check your work on your next in-person day. Please don't forget to write it down so that you can put that bookmark in on when you come into class. I can't wait to see the different books you've read. See you later.